All right. Let's get started. Let's just get right into it. We gotta talk about this load management issue in the NBA. And I'm going to come out and say it. Well, I should say this. You all know that I am not a fan, or I should. Well, let me start with this. When I don't give athletes long leashes. I don't give professional athletes long leashes because they are some of the most blessed people on the planet. To be able to play a game for a couple of hours a day for a living. What an opportunity that is. Okay. I gotta say this. I don't know how he fixed this load management issue. Here's the thing. I'm not a fan of it with the way it is now. Because here's the thing. Stephen A. Smith brought up a great point on how it's an insult to the paying customer. Personally, I believe this whole load management idea it's a good idea, but it's just not being executed the best way. Here's why. And also, I gotta criticize fans too. We have to look at ourselves and we gotta say, okay, here's the thing. For example, Laker games. Okay, let's just take that for an example. Alright, so when we go to a game, you buy a ticket and it says let's say Los Angeles Clippers versus how can I put this? What team? Let's do Lakers versus Clippers, all right? Okay, so it's like, wow, okay. So I get to see LeBron, Anthony Davis, Pat Beverly, Kawhi, Dwight Howard, Paul George. I get to see quite a few stars and prominent players in the league. When you buy the ticket, it doesn't say LeBron James and Anthony Davis versus Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. It doesn't say that. It's you are paying for the team. You're paying to see the team play, and whoever plays that night is who plays that night. Now, I will say this. Here's what I think would be good. And this is just a suggestion to the NBA. Okay. Let me preface with this. I don't believe it's right of the league to tell individual teams of when they can and cannot play their players. But here's what I think should happen. Take the schedule, release it. When it is released, teams talk to their fan bases and they send out emails and stuff like that and they say, okay, so look at the schedule and these are likely, this stretch of games is likely where we are going to rest players. Because you can't say for sure, you can't be for certain, but there are certain stretches of games where it's not really that important. Another suggestion I would have is players. Okay, if you're going to do load management, do it in practice. Have them take practices off. It's not like they miss a couple practices and they forget how to play basketball. These are still some of the best guys. These are the best guys in the world playing basketball. I believe because here's the thing. One reason, so there's a lot that goes into ticket prices. So you have stars. You have what city are you in? Is it regular season or is it playoffs? What round in the playoffs? There's many factors that goes into it. But I don't think that's a bad compromise. Because if I'm the team, I would say, okay. Because here's the thing. I want my fans to show up. And here's the thing. If the league isn't receiving money from the players, or I should say, if the league isn't receiving money from customers and people who watch the game, the NBA really hurts. If people just stop watching games, that would really hurt the league. So I think we got to come to a place where it's like, okay, so we do understand that playing basketball is hard. But we also understand that it's a pretty great lifestyle. It really is. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not a typical 9 to 5 where you got to beat the traffic and, you work for 8 hours at a desk job. It's pretty glamorous. Now there are annoyances and stuff like that, but overall, it's a pretty doggone good gig. So, I think that's a pretty good compromise. Release the schedules and then have the players or have the executives or whoever of the teams just send emails to the fans and say, okay, so the season starts here, so probably around let's just say November, the weeks of November, these weeks in November, we're probably going to rest. We're probably going to rest players. Because I think it's extremely disappointing to fans. Because here's the thing, ticket prices are expensive. I don't know if you've ever been to an NBA game, but they are they're expensive. And I should say they're expensive for the average Joe. It's not something that you could just, the average person could not afford to go to a bunch of games in a season. They just couldn't do that. They may be able to do 2 games a season, and that's on the high end for most people, I would say. But let me get into this article. 10 years ago, only cutting-edge sports scientists knew the term load management. Today, it is sparking a popular revolt that hit new heights last week when Clippers forward Kawhi Leonard sat out a nationally televised game at Utah on the first night of a back-to-back. This was nothing new. Leonard, who missed most of the 2017-2018 season because of tendinopathy in his right quad, hasn't played in both ends of a back-to-back since April 2017. His load management program last season with the Toronto Raptors, in which he played in only 60 regular season games, helped propel his team to its first NBA championship, and Leonard took home the NBA Finals MVP trophy. Leonard didn't invent the modern NBA load management regimen, but he might have perfected it, as he certainly popularized it. Whether it's Memphis Grizzlies rookie John Moran or Dallas Mavericks big man Kristaps Porzingis, more players from teams than ever are watching regular season games in street clothes, while some old school critics seethe in disgust. These opponents of load management bemoan an NBA that has gone soft, permitting athletes making tens of millions of dollars with no apparent injuries to sit out games that hardworking fans paid good money to attend. I get where both sides are coming from. I really do. I gotta be honest. If I were to go, to a Laker game, I actually still have yet to go to a Kings game while I'm up here in Sacramento. I told myself that I was gonna go. Haven't done that yet. Don't know when I will. But I see both sides. Because I mean, it's a pretty good argument. You make millions of dollars playing a game for a couple of hours a day. You get to fly first class. Yes, you have to play back to back. You have some back-to-back nights, but that's part of the career. That's part of your job. This is the career that you chose. You need to play. That like it's that simple. And I also see it as, in terms of, from the science standpoint, it's like, okay, well, I kind of like, I just, let me save myself for the playoffs. Let me save myself games in October, November, and December, and let me wait for the last playoff push of, late March, April, and then the playoffs in April, May, and June. So I do see it from both sides. And I think there's a way we can do this. Because I don't think load management is going anywhere. It's rough. If I was able to go see a Laker game and I found out, and I haven't been to a Laker game in a long time, but if I got tickets to go to a Laker game, I'd be like, wow, this is great. I get to see LeBron and Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, Rondo, like just all in the same. And of course, Rondo, he's not that great anymore, but he's still a prominent figure in the NBA, and I really liked watching him during my childhood. But I get to Staples Center, talking, laughing, looking around, everything's going great. And then I see LeBron and Anthony Davis in street clothes. My heart would sink. I'd be like, well, doggone it, man. I mean, these tickets ain't cheap. And yes, that is a risk. That is a risk of me buying the ticket. I may not see, I would like to see LeBron play for sure. Between watching him play and not watching him play, I would rather watch him play. But it's a risk that I'm willing to take when I buy the ticket. I think we just have to find, a way to do this. A player exerts himself. This is I skipped a few things in the article. A player exerts himself during practices, individual skill sessions, cardio work, dynamic warm-up routines, post-game recovery regimens, cross-country flights, lack of sleep, you name it. I gotta say this, man. I would look at those things. I would look at those practices, skill sessions, cardio work, dynamic warm-up routines, post-game recovery regimens. I would look at those things and just say, okay, have them skip on those. So Kawhi Leonard didn't have to miss 60 games. Instead of missing 60, he can miss 70. Because I will give this to them. I don't care who you are, travel takes a toll on your body. It does. But then again, these guys are flying first class. Excuse me, not even first class. They're on chartered flights. So they're not sharing, anything with the public. They don't have to go through LAX. These are teams going through private airports. They don't have to deal with the public. They don't have to deal with, well, they kind of do have to deal with TSA, but not nearly as rigorous. But it comes with a lifestyle. I just don't believe. I think we can figure this out. Because here's the thing. I want to see players. People want to see players play. And I believe players want to play. I do. But it's just like, okay. I mean, it's like this. I mean, here's an option, but it's extremely unlikely. If people buy a ticket and say LeBron doesn't play, give a certain percentage of the ticket in a refund back to the customer. Say 10%. Give them back 10% of their ticket. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of things on the fly, and I was thinking of things, before I even started recording this, and just when I was going through first take clips. I don't know, but the load management as we know it, it's not going to work. Do I think they've gone too far? I mean, I look at it this way. The season just got started. I mean, I think the Lakers just played their 10th game. I mean, look, man, we can figure this out. I really do believe that, but we have to find a happy medium. If you want to rest players, if players feel like they need rest, go ahead. But it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna charge me the same amount for a ticket, if whether LeBron is playing or he's not playing, and you charge me the same ticket price, well, that just doesn't seem that great. And the thing is, you've already bought the ticket. You already bought it. You enter into the arena and you see them in street clothes. I mean, and I hate going back to the older days, because you can't compare basketball from then to now, and it's a lot of stuff. And I mean, each generation has their own struggles and difficulties. But I mean, I look at it this way. Players now, they just have so many benefits. Their diet is better. I mean, you don't need. I mean, here's the thing. If I'm a player, yes, my body's tired. Yes, I'm exhausted. But it's like, well, doggone it, man. I mean, this beats a heck of a lot of people. I think we can do it. I really believe we can do it, but we have to find a happy medium. And I don't know what it is. Personally, my very first idea, I think that's a good idea. Just tell fans ahead of time. Just be like, okay, around this time, we're probably going to rest LeBron here. If you're a Mavericks fan, okay, we're probably going to rest Doncic and Porzingis here. I don't know. I think that's a pretty good idea. And then if you buy the ticket, it's like, well, I'm taking this risk. But there's got to be something. I just don't think we can keep load management as it is. We've got to adjust it. That's what I believe. All right. Okay. If you're eating or about to eat, or have recently just finished eating, skip this next section, because it's nasty. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. And I'd say probably skip. I'm probably going to try to say like 15 minutes, 15, 17, 20 minutes. I'm probably going to talk about it. So you could try skipping that far ahead, but no promises of how long this is going to be. Okay. So skip right now. Okay. California woman claims homeless man dumped bucket of hot feces on her head. Now, just from that title, just from that headline, I gotta say this. To me, does this story sound believable? It sounds pretty crazy. This sounds pretty crazy. Let me get into the article because there's a lot going in. There's a lot going in here. A California woman claims she was assaulted by a homeless man who pulled her out of her car, dragged her into the middle of the street, and poured a bucket of hot feces on her head. Heidi Van Tassel described the disgusting incident to Fox News on Tuesday. She said she was getting into her car after grabbing dinner with some friends near the Hollywood Walk of Fame in LA when a 6'2" man who appeared to be homeless attacked her a few months ago. It was diarrhea. I was soaked and it was coming off my eyelashes and into my eyes, Van Tassel said. Paramedics came to treat me and said there was so much of it on me, it looked like a man was saving it up for a month. She added that the feces got inside her car as well. He just kept pouring it and splattering it all over me. Then, she said, he took off. He ran away and I couldn't see, she said during the emotional interview with Fox News. I was stuck in the middle of the road on Hollywood Boulevard and nobody would stop. Van Tassel said eventually a couple did stop to help her. The police came and got the feces out of my eyes so I could sort of see, she said, adding that her attacker had returned and was standing across the street staring her down. She said firemen were also dispatched to the scene and had to peel off all my items of clothing because I am soaked in his feces. Crews wrapped Van Tassel in a blanket and rushed her to Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital where she got tested for infectious diseases caused by contact with feces, something she said she'll have to do every 3 months. Okay, the man who attacked her was identified in court as... It's Jere. I don't think it's Jerry. But his last name is Blessings, okay? Oh, Blessings, yeah. Oh, yeah. What an interesting last name in this scenario. A transient with schizophrenia and psychotic disorders. Blessings was charged with battery and taken to jail. Van Tassel, though, said Blessings would be better off under psychiatric care. He doesn't need jail time, she said. He needs mental health care. I have empathy for him because he needs help. Okay, let me stop for a second. Here's where I would disagree with Heidi. I believe he needs jail time and he needs psychiatric help. That's what I would say. Because I don't believe it should be I don't think it should be one or the other. I think it should be both. When you have something like this, it's like, okay, you need to be punished for what you did. Okay, whatever your mental disorder is, if you commit an act, you are responsible. You are. And yes, you can have certain, disabilities, but it's like, okay, at the end of the day, you did still commit this act. I think he needs both jail time and psychiatric care. Blessings was found unfit to stand trial and released back on the streets, she said. A media spokesperson for the LAPD told Fox News that as shocking as Van Tassel's incident was, it's something that happens more often than many people may think. Attacks in which a homeless person was the primary suspect have been growing across the LA area. Data from the LAPD showed that the number of arrests of homeless people so far in 2019 has been 6,677, up from 4,763 in 2017. The number of violent assault cases also went up from 2,496 in 2019, went up to 2,496 in 2019, from 1,763 in 2017. California has accounted for most of the country's homeless population. Despite throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at the problem, the number of homeless in LA County has risen for the third time in 4 years. The most recent count released in July by the LA Homeless Services Authority showed that nearly 60,000 homeless people have been living without permanent shelter on any given night. In the city of LA, the number of homeless in 2019 jumped 16% to about 36,000, while the number of chronically homeless, those who have been living on the streets for more than a year, rose 17%. Following the attack, Van Tassel said she repeatedly called the LAPD for information on the case, but her calls went unanswered. It's so traumatic. The PTSD that I'm dealing with is beyond anything that I've ever felt, she said. There needs to be some kind of help for the victims of these crimes. All right. So, I'm not going to do my Second Amendment thing. I'm not going to do, the whole carry a gun thing. Which, you should do. You gotta, stay, stay packing. This is a disgusting story. And the whole homeless issue here, man, I was walking to the gym. The gym at Sac State is called, it's called The Well. It's really nice, actually. But I was walking there yesterday, and I'm not that far. And I go at that time at about 5:30 every day. To be there when it opens at 6. I usually come across 1 or 2 homeless people, and I'm probably less than a mile from campus. I mean, I was walking there yesterday, and there was a homeless person just sleeping on the sidewalk, and I walked around him. And then a little bit past him, was another person with their cart. And then later yesterday, there was another homeless person just standing there on the sidewalk, just looking up. And clearly he was not in his right mind. And he was barefoot, and, you feel for these people. You don't necessarily know what to do at all. But I know I had an episode on this, man, but the homeless situation, I don't think it can be fixed. I really don't. I really don't. Because it's like, who foots the bill? And they're right, hundreds of millions of dollars have been thrown at this problem. And you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know it. If you, oh God, if you don't live in California and you don't know Southern California and you don't know, like the place near LA Mission and stuff like that, Tent City and stuff like that, if you came here, if you, or I should say, well, it's not near me, but if you go to Southern California and you go to the LA Mission area, and you will see a ton of homeless people. I mean, it's like a different it's like a third world country. I mean, you don't know, it's crazy just how many there are. And if you didn't know, you would think, so how much money has been spent on trying to fix this problem? I don't believe anybody would believe that it's been hundreds of millions of dollars. There's so much that goes into this, because it's like, okay, well, first of all, here's the thing. Let's do basic laws, or not laws, but just basic concepts. Okay, so when you have people, people need to have a place to exist. They need a place to be, because they take up, a certain amount of mass. They take up a certain amount of space, volume. So people have to exist at some place. So you have to put these people somewhere. These people have to be somewhere. Okay? These people also have possessions. Some a lot. Some a few. And I mean, when I say a lot or a few, it's really like, it's less than I have. It's less than most people have. Because you may see you'll see their carts, even if they have one or two carts, it's like, they still have less than the average, much less than the average person. So they need a place, so they also need space for their stuff. I mean, does anybody have any ideas? Seriously, because I'm telling you, California, when it comes to this, California has a lot of problems. I love this state in many ways, but California frustrates me. But I ask you this. Does anybody have any idea of what we can do? Because I don't. And I don't know anyone else who does. This is a nasty story. I can't imagine. First of all, I can't imagine somebody. Let me say this. First of all, I can't even imagine touching diarrhea. Okay, with my hands, or even with gloves on. Okay. There's no way I can even envision someone taking a bucket of diarrhea and dumping it on me. I can't. I cannot fathom that. This is just, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about this homeless problem. Because here's the thing. Let's just be honest with ourselves. No one wants to be around homeless people. No one wants to live around them. It's just a fact. Now, you can have compassion for them, but it's an entirely different thing when you live near them and you can see them and you're around them. They smell. Property value goes down. They're dangerous. And here's the thing. People talk about, their mental health. Here's the thing. People aren't meant to just wander. That's not the point of humans. Every creature has a home. Now even in migration, they do move, but they move with the pack, and there's a place where they know that they're going to go to, and they stay there for a decent amount of time. I don't know how we're going to fix this situation. It's like this. Do you move them to the heartland of the United States where there's just less people? And you just put them there? I don't know. This is something where it's hard. Because I look at it this way. If you want to do like a homeless shelter, or you say, okay, these people can be, this person can sleep here, this person can't sleep here. It's very, very difficult. It's a lot to take in. There's just no. Oh God, I don't know. I'm clueless on this. I wish. Here's the thing. Just based off the way humans work, and just based off of how we think and how we function, I don't believe there's a solution. I remember I had a math teacher in high school, and one day we were talking in class, and we somehow got to the topic of homeless people. and she said we should take all the smartest people in a room, take all the smartest people in the world, lock them in a room, and not let them out until they figure out a solution to the homeless situation. And I couldn't believe she said that. Like I said, did you just say take the smartest people in the room, take the smartest people in the world and just lock them in a room and have them come out when they figure out a solution? Cause the reason I thought that was because it was in my mind. There is no solution. They're gonna die in there if you just lock them in there and don't let them out until they come up with a solution. I mean, so much money has been put towards this problem, and it's not getting better. It is getting worse. It's getting worse, and I don't know. I don't know. But seriously, at this point, there are no there. If you have an idea, seriously, if you have an idea, throw it out there. We have to find a way. Even if we can't reverse it, can we slow down the pace of the growth of the homeless population? Because it's terrible. It's terrible, and I don't. It's just not going to get any better. Okay, so Hillary Clinton is being super annoying right now, and I just got to say this to Hillary. All right, listen. Okay, let me read the article. Let me read the article because you know how she's talked about. Okay, Hillary. This is from Newsweek. Hillary Clinton says she is under pressure to run in 2020. Never, never, never say never. Now, by the way, that's a Never Say Never. That's not a bad song by Justin Bieber. I kind of like it. Okay, but anyway. I gotta say this to Hillary. Hillary, stop doing this. If you want to run, just run. If you don't want to run, don't run. Stop teetering and tottering and, on the seesaw and, just sitting on the fence. If you want to get in there, get in there. If you don't, just shut up and don't do anything. The Democrat, okay, and here's what I'm saying. The Democrats are super weak right now. I can't remember. Again, I'm a history buff. I can't think of a time in recent history where Democrats have been weaker. Because I'm saying this. With all that Trump is going through right now, you have all this stuff. I believe he's still going to win. And I think he's going to win by a big margin. Democrats have never, no one is running away. No one's running away with this stuff. Buttigieg is still in. Amy Klobuchar, who I don't know how she's making it. Biden, Sanders, Warren, Castro. Just nobody's. Hillary, if you want, just ask yourself this. Hillary, I want you to just go into the mirror, look at yourself, and ask your reflection, do you want to run for president? The first thing that comes to your head, do that. If it's yes, run. If it's not, don't run. And if you win, so be it. Trump right now has, there's a lot going for him, but there's also people going against him. He's I don't know. She's run multiple times. And And she's lost multiple times. Do I think she's ever going to win? I don't. But that's really all I got to say about this. I'm so tired of Hillary just being like this. Like, it's not that hard of a decision. It's really not that hard. Do I want to run, yes or no? If yes, go for it. It's like, okay, I want to run, but I don't think I would win. Then don't run. If you don't think you can win, don't run. Because you can have all these contingencies and backup plans and just say, well, if this happens, or if this happens at this time, you look at a bunch of different factors. Simplify it. Because at this point, Hillary, first of all, we don't know what she's talking about. We don't know when because supposedly she said, there's a lot of people who are telling me, you should run, just, go on and do it. You're going to win. You can do it. Do I believe that to be true? I do. The Democrats suck right now. Like Sanders, Biden, Warren, they're the top three. Okay? Kamala Harris, I don't think she's going to make it. I have no faith in her. Klobuchar, no chance. Buttigieg, he's really been hanging on. I thought he'd be one of the first to leave. I thought he'd be out before Beto. Not the case. But right, I mean, the Democrats just they don't have any big personalities. And I said this in an earlier episode. Trump has the it factor. None of these Democrats have the it factor. None of them have that pizzazz. None of them have that personality. None of them have the wow to them. Hillary, your last name is Clinton. People, some love it, some hate it. But you just have that name and you have that recognition, and people know who you are. You have the closest thing to Donald Trump's it factor. Sanders isn't going to do it. Sanders is 78. I think he's 78 years old. He's old. He had a heart attack. Okay? He's not in great health at all. Okay? Biden has had so much work done, it's ridiculous. Elizabeth Warren. I don't, man. I don't. I mean, throw a name out there. I don't know. People, I mean, Michael Bloomberg possibly running. It's like, okay, I would ask you this. How many people actually know who Michael Bloomberg is? Because some may say, oh, he's a rich guy, but I don't think anyone would know anything about him, really. Hillary, seriously, girl, if you're gonna run, just run. Just throw your hat in the ring already. If you don't, just walk away and just enjoy your book tour. You and Chelsea. I mean, just make up your mind. It's not that hard.